They met in Swansea 2 years ago, where England were easy winners. Tonight, Wales aim for their first win over England on home soil in 46 years. Only one word's appropriate when these two meet. Success for the Great Britain Academy against the French. Talking to the two boys right the way through until kick-off time tonight, which is at 8 o'clock. And let's go to Paul Cullen first of all. Paul, it's a great match in prospect here, the Battle of Britain, state of origin, European style.
I'm sure this is going to be a game of pride and high passion. Teammate against teammate. It's going to be fast and it's going to be fierce.
That's the way that they promote the game in Australia, the state of origin, mate against mate, and we've got exactly that here, haven't we?
We certainly have, and add that now to the fact that we have quality internationals throughout this. This is going to be a game that's going to go basically from woe to go. It's going to be high intensity all the way through.
I wonder whether you think there'll be any slackening off of the pace for you here on the Big League tonight. If you're a newcomer to the Big League and you're watching international football for the first time, stand by, because this, believe me, could be something very, very special. By the time I think that we nipped outside and picked up some of the atmosphere inside Ninian Park, and the man on the touchline as always for us is our reporter Bill Arthur.
We're going to be seeing the stars of Welsh rugby of today very shortly, some really big names in the game. We might just have seen some of the stars of the future already tonight, because earlier on we had a demonstration of the growth game in rugby league, the Puma Little League, with
towards kick-off time as well. You can probably hear him banging out the songs in the background right now. OK, let's have a quick word too with Paul and John about forwards and three-quarters. Paul, first of all, you're a forward. Look at those forward packs. There's going to be some collisions out there.
It certainly is, and I honestly think the Welsh pack has the edge if they can control their aggression. Kelvin Skerritt, David Young, Paul Moriarty, three very, very big men indeed, and they can make a very big impact in this match. And as and when Roland Phillips takes to the park, I think we can see some fireworks from Roland. He's got a very big point to prove.
He has indeed, and I get the feeling that as a Welshman, you're just leaning slightly towards the Welsh. As an Englishman, you're just leaning slightly towards the Welsh here.
I honestly just think that they have the edge in the pack, and that's why I'm siding with the Welsh in this match. Obviously, Richie Ayres has got a hard job to keep tags on Phil Clark, but I'm sure he's up to a task, and Richie Ayres can run just as fast and for just as long.
It's an interesting confrontation, and of course, John Keir, England are going with four forwards on the bench. Now, one of the travelling reserves, Simon Baldwin, has been pitched in here tonight because Darryl Powell's had to play in the centres after Gary Connolly pulling out. Is that a blunder by the English coach?
Well, it could well be, but Mr Hanley might well be counting on quite a physical confrontation, as Paul's pointed out, and it might well be a standby for these intense collisions. And also Simon Baldwin, he can stand out there playing the centre, and we've got Anthony Farrell and we've got Phil Clark who can be pushed out there. But a more balanced set of substitutes to me does seem to be the Welsh one, where they've got a mixture of backs and forwards. But it all depends how the game pans out.
It does indeed, and the game should be panning out in about 5 or 10 minutes' time, that's all. We're going to ask the two lads now for quick predictions. I fancy that Paul Cullen's going to go for Wales here.
I certainly do. One important factor for me is the fact that Gary Connolly's now excluded. He's a man that's very, very unpredictable, a hard man to tackle, and I'm sure England are going to miss him in this lineup. It's going to be a tight game. I'll take Wales by 6 points.
Wales by 6 for Paul. Quickly, John, who are you fancying? You've got to go for England.
I'm going to disagree totally with Paul. I think that we've got the backs, the English backs, really will take them to the cleaners. I think in Jason Robinson we've got a world-class winger. I think Paul Newell's bound to make busts on a night like tonight. And Gary Schofield, there's no better player at opening gaps up than Gary. So I'm going to take England by 8 points.
Wales by 6, England by 8. I'm telling you that on the gantry tonight, I'm going to be standing between these two. So if there's going to be fireworks out on the pitch, I can see there's going to be fireworks in the commentary box too. Don't miss a minute of this. We've got the whole match coming up for you on Sky. It's Wales against England. We're at Ninian Park, and the whole match is coming up live on the Big League tonight. It's going to be a belter. Stay right where you are. Ninian Park stages Wales against England in 1995. The first ever meeting between these two took place way back in 1908 at Tony Pandy, and the Welsh won by 35 points to 18. Johnny Thomas kicked 7 goals that day, still a record. But the Welsh are waiting inside the corridor here at Ninian Park. Mike Nicholas, the Welsh team manager, and they are allowing the English, the visitors, to take the lead first. Phil Clark, Richard Gay on his international debut, Jason Robinson, Darryl Powell called in late on, Ikram Butt, big night for him, Derek Fox trying to resurrect his international career. And out come the England team, led by their coach, Ellery Hanley, a man who played in this fixture in 1992. Behind him is captain Phil Clark. And they come out to the familiar strains these days of Land of Hope and Glory. And there'll be quite a roar, I think, when this crowd gets a sight of Jonathan Davies and company. 1 or 2 new faces in this Welsh side. One of them there is Kelvin Skerrett. But out comes Jonathan Davies, Kevin Ellis right behind him, David Young, captain in 92, and the Welsh greet the boyos back home. Big night for Mike Nicholas and Clive Griffiths, the management team of the Welsh. Remember, when they were last here, they played and were hammered by the Australians. And the national anthems will be sung shortly by Leon Cronin. Crowd building up here. The stand on that far side is quite full, and it's good to see. Plenty of open spaces, of course. But the game beginning to take off here in Wales. That obviously was for the English and the Welsh. They have such camaraderie in this team. young lady singing with gusto, and I tell you what, whether you're English or Welsh, that always makes the hair stand up on the back of your neck. And I wonder what Richie Ayres and the other Welsh Anglos are feeling now. Remember, of course, Richie Ayres, man of the match for England against Wales in the 1992 meeting of these nations at Swansea. He is on his Welsh debut tonight. His uncle Trevor, of course, that's Kelvin Skerritt's uncle. Kelvin Skerritt's uncle Trevor played for Wales, and that's why Kelvin Skerritt now feels like he is a Welshman as well. Kelvin Skerritt, the Welshman. 16 caps for Great Britain, and I'm sure that he and the rest of the Welsh Anglos will be playing high on adrenaline and high on passion. Paul Cullen, it's a big night.
It certainly is. Jonathan Davies has a high reputation for being a big talker in the dressing room pre to big matches like this, and I'm sure Jonathan has the lads well fired up for this one.
And Davies is the captain there at standoff, with Aitchison, Ford, Bateman, Harris, Sullivan, Davis and Ellis as the backs. The forwards, Skerritt, Hall, Young, Moriarty, Perrott and Ayres. And on the bench, Dio Powell, Adrian Hadley, Neil Cowie and Roland Phillips. There he is, the man who will be winding them up. And a Welsh points in the match record, 24 in the 1991 defeat of Papua New Guinea. Who can ever forget that wonderful occasion when the Welsh were reborn? England, though, coming into the Lions' Den. Richard Gay, Jason Robinson, Darryl Powell, Paul Mueller, Vikram Butt, Gary Schofield and Derek Fox. And this is where it will be quite hot. Carl Harrison, Richard Russell, Harvey Howard, Anthony Farrell, Sonny Nicol and Phil Clark, the captain. And on the bench for England, Simon Baldwin, Mick Cassidy, Steve McNamara and Steve McCurry. International rules will apply, but it won't be once off, you're off for the night. It's just simply 4 substitutions that either coach can use. Russell Smith will be keeping a close eye on proceedings. He's tonight's referee. Came in for a bit of criticism after calling off the Salford match on Friday night with 35 minutes to go before the kick-off. But the pitch here tonight for Derek Fox and company in absolutely perfect condition. He must have thought his international career was over, but he's been given a great chance to resurrect it here at Ninian Park tonight. So we're just about ready then. We're about to get underway. And the Welsh, obviously in their usual red jersey, and England in white. Gary Schofield, who scored in this Wales-England fixture in '92 and of course is a survivor from the meeting in 1984, as is the Welshman Phil Ford. So from Ninian Park, Cardiff, it's the John Smith's European Championship, Wales against England, and Davis gets this game underway. Underneath it is Fox, and he gives it immediately to Nicol, and the forwards arrive, and we'll see plenty of that, I fancy, early on. Richard Russell is the dummy half, and immediately there's a few punches being swung in the background. Skerritt, and I think it was Farrell or maybe Nicol who collided, but you can see the way that these Welshmen are getting stuck into the tackling early on. Russell trying to scamper away from dummy half on his own. I don't think this match will lack anything in terms of intensity, and Derek Fox plants the ball downfield.
Well, it was important to note then that that ball was kicked from the English 20-metre line. They took 5 drives and only just about broke that whitewash.
The ball did run dead, a bit too much beef behind it, and so it's going to be a Welsh tap on their own quarter line. And they will restart. Martin Hall, and the first touch in a Welsh jersey for Kelvin Skerritt. And I think 1 or 2 of the crowd have come out here to see Skerritt. As I said earlier, his uncle Trevor, a famous Welsh international. Martin Hall with that scampering little run from dummy half. This now is David Young up to the halfway line. Paul Aitchison finds Kevin Ellis, and here's Richie Ayres. Come on, roll away, don't said once he pulled the jersey on, it didn't matter whether it was red or white that was opposing him. He would be in for a big game, he hoped. Moriarty with that drive. That's the last tackle for Wales. This is Davis, who will hoist the high kick. And here's a tester for Richard Gay. But Kevin Ellis had moved inside the 10, and he was pinned by referee Russell Smith. He said to Ellis, don't move in, but Ellis did.
A shame there because it was a superb bomb from Jonathan Davis, but infringed inside the 10 metres, and the referee gave the correct decision.
So England then in possession from the penalty, but a fairly hot reception committee waiting for them. And this is Harvey Howard. Howard tackled by Martin Hall. Certainly the early moments of this match, the opening 2 minutes, both sides look as though they're going to mean business.
I've noticed from the off, if we compare the sets of 6, that the Welsh are making more yardage on the straight drives. England seems to be taking the ball and then taking the tackle.
This, though, is Paul Newlove. Newlove, who came into the Test series against the Australians for Great Britain after missing the first. Derek Fox, of course, missed the entire series. Schofield linking well, aiming for the corner, and eventually taking the tackle, and Anthony Sullivan doing well and forcing him into touch. Getting congratulated by Martin Hall.
Yeah, Gary Schofield there used the dummy, bringing the winger on the inside, but superb defence from Anthony Sullivan, pushed him out of bounds, which means Welsh head and ball, and usually they'll come away with the football.
He hasn't missed a Welsh international since the rebirth, Anthony Sullivan. Kevin Ellis with the feed. He's been scrum half in all 7, now in all 8. And England caught offside.
Yes, we see the 3/4 there coming up inside the 5 metres at the touch judge's marking, and correctly the referee gives the decision. This set of 6 from this tap will be very, very important. They're a midfield position, and it's a good position in which to launch an attack.
Harvey Howard tangling with his opposite number, David Young. Leads against Salford there. This is Skerrett, and he is being singled out by the English. I think they know what a danger he might be. He is another danger man for Wales in the pack. That's Moriarty. Playing the ball quickly, as is the pattern now in modern-day rugby league. Davis, a real buzz round Ninian Park, as Davis really has his first chance to attack.
Great play from Wales there, 3 drives to the right. The ball was brought back from Kevin Ellis, and Jonathan Davis doing what he does very well. That's straightening up and running at the defence.
And Davis again will hoist another towering bomb, but it's gone straight up in the air, and indeed has gone behind him. So he just pats it back. Skerrett picks up the pieces, fires the pass to Iestyn Harris. Harris to no one in particular. Another chance for a bomb here. Richard Gay under no pressure whatsoever. And Richard Gay now will run it out, the whole full back.
Quite significant, Teddy, that I think the tactic of the high bomb from the boot of Jonathan Davis is going to feature quite prominently, and they really are testing Richard Gay out on his international debut.
Referee Russell Smith penalising Wales for interference at the play of the ball as Jason Robinson tried to get to his feet. Martin Hall penalised. So England back in the Welsh half. And England with so many players on their international debut. Richard Russell is one of them. This is Jason Robinson for Great Britain caps, but his first appearance in an England jersey. And Harvey Howard, likewise for him, first appearance for England. Early penalty count, 2-1 to England. And they're in possession just outside the quarter. Good quick hands. The first run from Ikram Butt, but well watched by Alan Bateman. Newlove's the dummy half. Fox spins a long pass into the arms of Schofield. Then he finds Nicol. Of course, these two sides coming into this match, they haven't really had too much time to get their game plans together. Only a limited number of training sessions. But the match lacks nothing in intensity when the names of Wales and England come together. Schofield now will just nip one over the top. Phil Ford picks up. Phil Ford is trapped by Phil Clark. And they tried to haul him over the in-goal line, but Ford stayed in the field of play. And Richard Russell, top one there on his forearm as Aitchison went down. And Russell is holding the arm quite gingerly. And I'm sure that they will be missing a heartbeat in the Castleford area now.
Yes, Richard Russell is a nuggetive type of player, but it looked there as if Paul Aitchison carrying the football out from his own in-goal area, just caught Richard as he went in on his forearm, but he seems to have shaken it off at the minute.
Last tackle, another kick deep from Davis. Bounces once, and Richard Gay is the man in possession now for England, who will run it back. Whoa. Great tackle, Moriarty. Ayres took him downstairs, and Moriarty hammered him up front. Ikram Butt, good play from the new
new English winger. One of the unsung heroes in the game, says Ellery Hanley. And interference with the play of the ball.
Certainly was, and the correct decision from the referee, and I thought that Wales were lucky not to be penalised for a little bit of a head high on the previous attempted tackle.
Give the ball, give the ball! No! Get upfield! We're on the ball! Davis just putting too many hands on Butt as he tried to get up and play the ball. So it's England who are deep in Wales territory, 10 metres from the Welsh line. Harvey Howard, and he scored a try like that a couple of weeks ago for Leeds, and he looked for the whitewash then. Richard Russell looks like he's okay. This is Derek Fox ducking under some high challenges. Swarming Wales defence keeps him out. There's Russell again at dummy half. Now it's with Schofield. Here's Clark. Clark on to Richard Gay, who's chimed into the line. Clark keeps the movement going. Schofield out wide to Butt. Butt unloads the pass and finds Darryl Powell playing in the head guard tonight, the Sheffield captain. This is Schofield. Sonny Nicol plays the ball quickly to Russell. They've got man out wide. The man out wide there is Farrell, Anthony Farrell. But as he got the ball down, he hasn't. Wales have done well. They've managed to hold him up.
Well, that was, I thought, great defence from the Welsh, because on the previous tackle they were short in numbers. They scrambled across and stopped the man putting the ball over the whitewash.
Yes, Anthony Farrell is a very strong man indeed, but it was superb technique by the Welshman there, getting underneath him and preventing him putting the ball down. Great defence.
Yes, good defence from Wales now. They've got to get the ball away from the danger zone. Must say, Paul, this match, as we have said, is lacking nothing in intensity. They're really getting stuck in.
Certainly, I still fancy the Welsh forwards at the moment in time. They're running with just a little bit more zip, a little bit more vigour, and they've proved to make more yards on straight drives.
Last tackle here for the Welsh. They're still inside their own half. They look to Davis to kick it deep. Davis obliges. That ball will not run dead. That's a super kick from the Welsh captain. Richard Gay now must run it out from his own line. And he's trapped. Good chase. Bateman and Ford. 9 minutes gone. 0-0. Ikram Butt, anxious to impress on his international debut. Referee has caught them, though, for a swinging arm.
Yes, Kelvin Skerritt there, just a little too high. I don't think there was anything malicious in there, but quite correctly, a high shot there, and it's a penalty to England.
Russell Smith seems to be setting the stall out. He'll have no high tackles in this match whatsoever, although on that occasion I thought Kelvin Skerritt was a little unlucky.
Russell at dummy half. Harvey Howard. As he falls, he passes it to Harrison, who gives it a bit of width and finds Fox, and then Fox looking to pass to Schofield, but took the call and decided to take the tackle too. Russell from dummy half, fully recovered from that clout he got from the head of Aitchison on his arm. Newlove the dummy half. Fox now, here's Schofield. That was crossing. England using one man as a foil, obstruction.
Yes, a shepherd there from Sonny Nicol coming through. It's quite interesting to note this is a tactic that they're using. They've got the back rowers running wide out, but it was just mistimed there.
Sonny Nicol back on the international stage again, but just incurring the wrath of the referee with that penalty. So Wales now are in the English half with Skerritt. Tackled by Anthony Farrell. Here's Richie Ayres. Martin Hall, the dummy half. Kevin Ellis. Ellis looking busy, finds Davis. The Welsh crowd, every time Jonathan Davis gets the ball, they hold their breath, wait for something special to happen. Ellis still down that line. Plays the ball to himself, that's allowed, no one in front, and Wales have got a penalty. Robertson moving off the mark.
Great enterprise from Kevin Ellis. They're now taking the game to the English defence. He's pushing forward and forcing England into mistakes.
Yes, Jason Robinson there hadn't retired the 10, and he wasn't in marker position. So again, Russell Smith quite correct, and it's a great position for a Welsh attack here.
Yes, they've decided not to kick from far out on that touchline. They're going to run it here with Sullivan, driving the ball into the 10-metre line. That's where they are, the Welsh. They switched the direction of the attack with Young. And again, the penalty. David Young going down under a second challenge as he tried to play the ball.
Yes, you see there, Derek Fox is just hands on the ball there, as with Phil Clark. And again, we've got a real chance of 2 points, which will be serve justice for the pressure that the Welsh have put on the English line.
The penalty count is going to be an extremely important factor in this match. I think so far it's the English team that have erred on too many occasions.
Yes, Clark was hanging on to the ankle, wasn't he? And so there is the penalty count, 4-all. And this is the first one that Jonathan Davies really has had a sight of the posts. The earlier penalty, it was too far out on that touchline. It's a very wide pitch, this Ninian Park. And even for a kicker of Davies's quality, they decided to run the penalty. But this one, for a man of the Davies ability, that is eminently kickable.
I think on a couple of occasions so far in this match, the Welsh team plan has been quite evident. They're going to drive the ball 2 or 3 to one side and bring it back via Kevin Ellis to a straight-running and hard-running Jonathan Davies.
And Davies misses. Well, they didn't come to Cardiff to see that, the Welshman. Davies is as disgusted as the supporters are.
A chance gone begging there. Really, penalties are going to be very, very difficult to come by, I feel, in 20-metre zones, and that should have been 2 points to the good for the Welsh, and he may well regret that later in the game.
Yes, a golden opportunity to get the scoreboard ticking over, as it is. The Welsh will get the ball back from the dropout from Derek Fox, and it's Richie Ayres. It'd be very interesting if Richie Ayres and Harvey Howard come face-to-face, because they are teammates at Leeds and great friends off the field. Moriarty with a strong run, almost over the top of Clark, but Clark doing the defensive duties well. Here's Davies now, trying to make amends for that, but no chance. Watched very closely by Anthony Farrell. Here's Aitchison, Welsh fullback, chimed into the line to say this Welsh side looks a lot stronger on paper, and it really is taking this match to the English. 14 minutes gone, we await the first points. Ellis takes them on, dabs the ball forward, little tester for Gay, and the English fullback did well, but credit Ellis for a good chase.
Certainly, and not only was it a great kick, but a great chase, and that now puts the English under pressure, basically on their own try line.
It's Robinson who will scamper away from dummy half. Darryl Powell brought into the side late on because Gary Connolly pulled out, suffering from a touch of fatigue, we're told. Clark with the run. I'll tell you what, this might be mate against mate, as they say in another part of the world, but the intensity of the tackles, they're bone-shuddering collisions. Aitchison, hauled down by Russell. Now Moriarty, he was a doubt before this match, but he looks fit as a flea. Quarter of an hour gone, Skerrett puffs the cheeks out, picks the legs up, and Schofield stood up to the challenge well. Now Mark Perrott. Martin Hall to Davies. Davies with the outside of the boot. And Richard Gay caught that in the field of play, but he was battled in.
My word, that was great play from Jonathan Davies. Lofted kick, eye on the ball, and that was a crucial tackle to put the pressure again back on England.
Yes, another set of 6 here for the Welsh. A good kick, a good chase, but all credit to Richard Gay as well. Eye on the ball, turned away from the onrushing Davies, and he just had to take the tackle, and it's 6 more for the Welsh in a great position once again.
Paul Aitchison will run the ball back on the first of those 6 tackles. Anthony Farrell and Paul Newlove doing the tackling. Alan Bateman scampering away and Newlove after him. Martin Hall and now David Young driving it in towards that English quarter. Hall looking for someone outside him, having to take it on his own, the Wigan hooker, who really has made the number 9 jersey his own at Central Park this season. Now Kevin Ellis, call from Gary Schofield, then hit him. And they delayed almost fatally. Davies. Another little chip over the top looking for Ford. Ford finds it. Referee, though, has caught Ford offside.
Yes, I think we see there when the ball actually leaves Davis's foot that Phil Ford was in front at that point, and a correct decision.
So Phil Clark grounded on halfway, Russell the dummy half, and here's Carl Harrison. Slipped the pass, but it was forward. Richard Gay thought his first international try was beckoning.
Well, that was a very close call from the referee, Russell Smith. Proved to be the correct decision, but my word, Carl Harrison on the batter, and what a beautiful ball.
Yes, that's one of Carl's great strengths. It hits the line very, very strongly indeed and looks to offload, and it was just a touch forward, else it could have been curtains for the Welsh defence.
Well spotted by referee Russell Smith. This is Iestyn Harris, tracked by Darryl Powell. 17 and a half gone, 0-0. A close contest. It was always going to be. Skerritt picks up those knees again.
Clive Griffiths seems to be playing a very controlled and tight game with his game plan tonight. Their one-man drives and trying to push the English backwards. Ellery Hanley, though, looks for, I think, a more expansive game. The English forwards are looking to unload the ball very close.
Here's Richie Ayres for the Welsh. Just ankle tap by Anthony Farrell. It's the last one here for Wales. Aitchison the dummy half. They look to Davis once more. Good ball to Bateman. Bateman almost through the legs of Schofield, but Schofield was up to it.
A good option there by Jonathan Davis to run the ball, switch it to Alan Bateman, and it was just some quick thinking by the English after the ball hit the legs.
Ikram Butt's lost it there. This is Moriarty, gets the ball away, and scrambling defence from Robinson on Ellis. Wales running hot here. Ball back inside to Moriarty! And Moriarty just held up. Plays the ball quickly. Sonny Nicol out very quickly from the marker defence into Loud. Davis picks himself up slowly. He's trying to slow things down as Wales set for another attack with Ellis, who scores!
My word, that was a superb try from Kevin Ellis. He delayed the ball, shown the ball to the outside. Harvey Howard fell for it, hook, line and sinker. Ellis steps on the inside and scored under the post. That's a great start for the Welsh.
Certainly is. Kevin Ellis maintaining his good form for Workington. 5 in 5 for his club, and one here now tonight.
Yes, here is the ball coming back to Kevin Ellis. There's a slight delay, he straightens up. Harvey Howard does not do his job, first marker, and Kevin Ellis goes straight onto the sticks.
Yes, always a danger there when we've got a half-back running to prop forward. He spots that Howard hasn't moved up too well in the line, steps in beautifully, and it's between the black dots. Superb try.
Kevin Ellis, the 29-year-old half-back from Workington Town, and that's his second international try, and bang under the post for Wales. And to be fair, the Welsh really do deserve that, because they have been taking this game to England from the very first whistle. So Jonathan Davis, he had the one shot at goal from the penalty. Here he is now with the conversion bang in front. I think even John Keir would put his mortgage on this, but Davis gets the extra two. Great roar from the Welsh contingent, and there's quite a contingent here at Ninian Park supporting the Welsh. 6-0, they lead.
Well, here's the crucial play now. Harvey Howard circles. He steps out of the line, doesn't check for Kevin Ellis, who takes the ball forward. Little jink and a step inside, and Kevin Ellis darts over under the post. And my word, does this man like to score tries?
Yes, he loves it, doesn't he? Kevin Ellis, 29-year-old, his 8th cap for his country. And what a wonderful scoring run he's on. Midway through the first half, 6-0. John Keir, the Welsh deserve that lead.
Certainly, the English line has been under intense pressure for the first 15 of the 20 minutes that we've played at the minute. These Welsh forwards are playing superbly, they're controlling the football, and Jonathan Davis's kicking game is having a big say in this match.
We said before the match that one or two of these Welshmen had declared themselves wanting to play for their new and adopted country, and my word, hasn't it shown itself in evidence in the opening 21 minutes. Here's one of them, Kelvin Skerritt, leading by example. Played in a big Regal Trophy final at the weekend, as did Martin Hall, but he looked fit as a fiddle here. And the kick from Hall was well judged in the end.
Yes, canny football there from Martin Hall. All the English side looking for Jonathan Davis at first receiver. Hall shows the ball, goes to the blind side, and just chips it into the corner for a good 20-metre gain.
Richard Russell has been in the wars already tonight. He got a bang on the arm, and now he's limping away. And it looks as though Richard Russell might be leaving the field. Let's go downstairs and join Bill.
Does indeed, Eddie. He's being carried off at the moment. He's really been in the wars tonight. He got a bang on the elbow early on. He shrugged that off, but it doesn't look as though he's going to shrug off this injury to his left leg. It looks like his left shin. He's going straight up the tunnel, and on comes Steve McCurry, the Widnes hooker, so he slots straight into position.
How unlucky Richard Russell. He hasn't missed a game for Castleford in 2 years, and here he is on his international debut, limping off injured. And maybe this is a clue as to what happened.
Yes, a big collision there from Paul Moriarty. He's a real big guy, and it was a total accident, but the type of thing that can happen in international football.
I'm so sure he didn't have Moriarty's boot all over the top of his foot. Anyway, whatever happened, he's disappeared as Richard Russell, recovering on the bench. And Steve McCurry at dummy half is the man who's come on. England looking to reply to that Kevin Ellis try, and perhaps they will here now with Richard Gay. Davis finished the tackle off. The job was half done by Aitchison. Here's Fox. Little dab kick towards the corner. Newlove's after it. Ford is there, and Ford runs touch in goal.
Superb kick there from Derek Fox. Really, Phil Ford had no other alternative but to step out of play, and it just ensures that possession retains to the English in the Welsh half.
The possession so far, and Wales enjoying the better of it in the opening 23 minutes. The ball in play, almost 16 of those 23, and it's Wales's half, as is reflected on the scoreboard. But a chance here now for England to put some more pressure back on them.
I think one big factor in the game now is that when Steve McCurry's now on the park, he's a man in form. He loves to run from acting half-back, and maybe he'll find gaps when this Welsh defence starts to tire, especially the big men around the rocks.
Robinson, little scampering run again from dummy half, and interference on Robinson. The referee has held the clock up. It's Martin Hall.
No doubt about it there. Jason Robinson had pinched 10 metres there with a superb skirry away from dummy half, trying to get up, keep the ball in play quickly, and Martin Hall just gave him a little shove, and it looks as if it's a certain 2 points for Derek Fox.
And Russell Smith rather is having a word with Jonathan Davis, and I rather fancy we might be seeing a yellow card, because that could be the public warning for Wales. Any more of that, I think Russell Smith told him, and there'll be someone in the bin.
The referees have made it very, very clear indeed. If you err around the rucks, if you lie on him to play the ball, he will basically just give the warnings, give the penalties, and the next man is going to the sin bin.
I think that was the message to Davis as the Welsh captain. And this is Derek Fox from bang in front, so England should be on the scoreboard, and indeed they are. 6-2, the boot of Derek Fox. 78 goals this season for Bradford Northern. 14 Great Britain caps, the last in the World Cup final in '92. And he's got the kicking responsibility for the English here tonight.
Really, that was the first bit of prolonged pressure that we'd had on the Welsh line, and they've come away with the 2 points, which are very, very important, because without a doubt the Welsh had the better of the first quarter.
Martin Hall, the man who gave away the penalty with a little nudge on his Wigan teammate Jason Robinson. So Davis restarts, and I'm sure that the English will be relieved to see them off the dreaded nil. Sonny Nicol. And somebody there trying to pinch the ball, John.
Certainly, without a doubt, it's quite a silly penalty there. Phil Ford, and really looks as if he's missed it.
Yeah, the referee didn't give the penalty because England retained possession in the end, but Ford was making a definite attempt to steal. And what's happened here? Ellis has stolen it, and Kevin Ellis protests his innocence.
It's going to be very, very important that the Welsh keep their discipline at the minute, because they've just piggybacked England right out from their own sort of half, and now we're looking at the midfield. We'll look for a couple of drives, and then the ball will go wide.
Carl Harrison with the first drive, halted by Moriarty. Here's Harvey Howard. Perrott and Young spin off the big Welshman, and there's Ayres and Howard head to head. Two Leeds teammates, big pals off the field. Now Newlove. bounces off the shoulder of Ayres and keeps the movement going until he's hauled down by Kelvin Skerrett.
Paul Newlove loves to step from his left foot on the inside, and the Welsh defence were up to it on that occasion.
McCurry from dummy half, on for the injured Richard Russell, unloads the pass to Robinson. Robinson gets away from Sullivan, but he can't get away from that tackle from Young. McCurry on the last tackle here for England. Schofield, long raking pass, Richard Gay, they have a man out wide, and Richard Gay might need him. Richard Gay has scored! That's a tremendous try on his debut for Richard Gay. Wales were waiting for the pass out wide, the pass didn't come, and Richard Gay took it on his own.
Well, it was the unload from the far side. Gary Schofield just holding the play a little. He steps outside, a lovely ball, and the Welsh defence just hangs off that a little too much indecision. Richard Gay with a show and go, and no one's going to stop him from that far out.
Yes, there's no better player than Gary Schofield for bringing players out of position, which he did with Rich Ayres. Sent out a long ball, and Richard Gay finished it off, showed a dummy, great determination to crash over in the corner. Great decision as well from Gary Schofield to run the ball on the last tackle rather than take the more orthodox option of a kick.
Richard Gay then, the fullback from Hull, his first international try on his international debut here for England. Great moment for him. So Derek Fox, 1 out of 1, that was bang in front, the penalty. At the moment the scores are level. This to give England the lead for the first time. Just pulled it the wrong side of the post. Sighs of relief from the Welsh public at Ninian Park. It's 6 points all.
Well, the two Welsh defenders caught in two minds here. It's the dummy runner signalled on the inside that causes the confusion. Richard Gay now with a little show and a go, and he's far too strong and far too fast from that distance.
Yes, Richard Gay will have enjoyed that moment. After 6 years at Hull, this is his international debut. 12 games out up to December with hernia problems, but he started the last 8 on Humberside. Although they're bottom of the table, Richard Gay really has been one of the bright stars.
Very important that Wales don't give England the piggyback, the easy yards out of their own half this time, because that's really where all their problems stem from after the last 2 points that Derek Fox kicked.
England in possession with Ikram Butt.
I thought it was a very true point from John there. It was the ball, or the attempted ball steal from Kevin Ellis, which set Wales on the back foot, and from that mistake England went the full length of the park and scored out wide.
It's England who are in possession again now with Harvey Howard on the drive. Let's have a Welsh view on this England attack. The Welsh assistant coach Rob Ackerman is with Bill.
Rob, you score a splendid try, but then discipline seemed to go out of the window.
Yes, the penalty count's a little bit disappointing. We've got to work on that, and we've got to keep the penalties down.
I think you're a bit worried about defence as well.
Certainly from our marker-place pretty poor at the moment, and there's too many yards with Stephen McCurry, and especially Jason Robinson's making too many yards for our liking anyway.
But splendid try from Kevin Ellis.
Yes, Kevin's taken the game to England, and we've just got to carry on with it.
Kevin Ellis has taken a bit of a knockdown, receiving treatment as this Welsh scrum forms, and Jonathan Davies gets the possession. This is the bang. Oh, he got a nasty crack, didn't he? As the player fell on him.
He's a nuggety kick type of character though, and I'm sure he'll be back in the game orchestrating things for the Welsh.
Level pegging then here at Ninian Park. David Young in control of the ball for the Welsh.
That's 4 good drives from the Welsh. They've made fully 30 yards from that play. Kevin Ellis just holding onto the ball there with a little bit of a juggle.
And the news on Richard Russell is he's got ankle ligament damage. That's bad news indeed for Castleford, who play Wigan, of course, on Sunday in a match you can see on Sky Sports in our Sunday evening slot. Meanwhile, you'll also be seeing Paul Aitchison and kicks like that, punishing.
Yes, it's quite interesting that not just Jonathan Davies are putting the kicks in. We've had Martin Hall put a good kick in, and also Paul Aitchison. But Richard Gay there at fullback, quite rightly, letting the ball roll out of bounds so that he can get himself settled down in the 20 metre zone when they get possession.
The 60th meeting between Wales and England is level pegging all square at 6-all. The Welsh won here 13-12 against France last season. Then they lost in the autumn to the Australians in a downpour and a deluge. Thankfully it's dry in South Wales tonight. Good conditions for the players to show their skills to the Welsh public. 32 minutes gone, we have 8 to half-time, 6-all.
I sense, Eddie, that the Welsh forwards, after such a big hit out in the opening quarter, the legs are just a little heavy at the minute, and this could be a significant time for England perhaps to just hit them on the fringes and get something out there.
Gary Schofield trying to turn them round with the kicks. Aitchison made a little grab for it. It bounced off his fingertips, and Aitchison will try and run it out now, but that's great defence from Newlove. And a little untidy here for Wales at the moment, but Ford has it. And Ford running across the face of play, gets away from Daryl Powell. Now he'll straighten up.
Philip Ford, one of the most elusive runners in the world of rugby league, and certainly took the pressure off the tiring Welsh forwards there.
Well, he did for a moment, but then he didn't play the ball properly.
Yes, I don't know what this call. It isn't even an attempt at the play of the ball, and quite rightly he's been penalised for it. Just pushed it through and waved his leg at it, and it was a mile away.
Phil Ford penalised by referee Russell Smith, shaking his head, but every picture tells a story.
Maybe one could argue, John, that there was some possible interference there from the English defence.
That's a possibility, but there's still the law state that the ball has to be touched with the foot, and it didn't even go near it.
Yes, he just released it, didn't he, as he fell under the tackle. Anyway, the debate can rage on. I see I'm going to have to keep these two apart on this gantry. One's gone for Wales, of course, the other's gone for England. And this is the moment when perhaps Derek Fox can give England the lead for the first time. And he's just missed again. Ironic cheers from the Welsh crowd. It stays at 6-all. Phil Ford, I think, will feel that justice has been seen to be done.
Yes, I feel a bit of a let-off, but it's quite interesting that Rob Ackerman, the Welsh assistant coach, also picked up on the fact that the discipline was a little awry, and there's no way in the world that they can afford to give penalties away, because it's either possession or shots at goal that they're just coughing up.
The pendulum seems to have swung in the favour of the English, and you're quite right, that is purely and simply on the back of the penalties that the Welsh are conceding when there's absolutely no need to do so.
There's a bit of a mess, though, by Daryl Powell. The ball was bouncing all over the place. A catastrophe for the Englishman.
Yeah, a big error there from Daryl. It was an untidy drop, but I think it was a miss-hit, really. And that just caused a knock-on there.
So the Welsh have head and feet at the scrum, and they're in possession with Aitchison. Good tackling by Clark. Now then, can Iestyn Harris exploit some space? Trying to get away from Newlove, but Newlove all over him like a rash. Bateman, quick play the ball, finds Perrott. Wales yet to make an error in the handling department. England have made 2. Richie Ayres, good ball, Moriarty. Clattered immediately though, Moriarty, by Daryl Powell, who gets through a huge amount of defensive work. This is Ayres. How ironic if Richie Ayres gets man of the match here tonight for Wales, having got man of the match for England in '92. That was a forward pass into the arms of Skerrett from Davis.
Yes, a feature of Philip Clark's defensive play is that he reads the plays very well. Obviously saw that Davis was the ball player, put him under intense pressure, and that caused the rush pass when Kelvin Skerrett had just overrun him. Great play by Phil Clark.
We tried to exploit Phil Clark's performance in defence in the Regal Trophy final. The way he flies out of the line and attacks defenders. We couldn't do it in the final on Saturday, and he worked wonders there then.
Anthony Farrell driving his way up. The referee said that tackle was off the shoulder. So it's play on, and Schofield gets the ball out to Newlove, who gets through Ford, who dances away from Bateman, gets the ball in field, but only 2. Well, Martin Hall couldn't pick that up because he would have been in an offside position. So England retain possession with Harvey Howard. Unloads to Fox. Derek Fox and Aitchison doing well to halt the little scrum half. McCurry dragging England to within a metre, but that's the last tackle. It's the turnover. And what's more, it's now a penalty because McCurry didn't release the ball.
Yes, I think that was an error from Steve McCurry. I think he'd lost the tackle count a little because we had Gary Schofield lining up behind the play. I think he was fancying a shot at a drop goal, but Steve McCurry scampered off on the last tackle, and then when Jonathan Davies wanted to bring the ball back into play, he wouldn't release it.
Steve McCurry, one Great Britain cap, former academy captain. Here's David Young. Martin Hall, the dummy half. Richie Ayres takes it on for the Welsh. Penalty, England caught offside. Referee gave the Welsh the chance of an advantage, none forthcoming. Russell Smith blows the whistle.
Yes, it looks there, he's got 2 or 3 to choose from, and he waited to see initially if there was any advantage at all before stopping play and giving the penalty.
The fatigue factor is very, very important, of course, in rugby league these days. And there's been a lot of work by both sets of forwards. And at the moment, England are just looking a little bit tired, especially around the ruck areas.
Jonathan Davies then will have this penalty attempt. Wales 6-all. They led 6-0. England came back at them. Richard Gay's first try. Kevin Ellis, the try scorer for Wales. Davies now from bang in front. Well, he kicks a sweet football and he's about 33, 34 metres out, but dead centre of the field. And this is eminently kickable for the Welsh captain. The crowd will tell you and the flags go up. But Davies has kicked Wales into an 8-6 lead as we approach half-time here at Ninian Park in this first John Smith's European Championship match.
Yes, psychologically that's so important. We see there's just a minute to go until half-time, and you could see Jonathan Davies from the picture there signalling a set of 6. They just want to control the ball and put a big kick in and play it out until half-time.
England restart. Underneath it is Ellis. And it's Moriarty who will take the first drive upfield for the Welsh. And he gets through one, but he can't get through the tackle from McCurry. It's been an excellent first half, this, from both sides. Lacking nothing at all in pace and commitment from either team.
That's great yardage from the Welsh. They've got the English on the back foot, and England are now having to scramble in defence.
A little bit of time to be added on by the timekeepers here. But it's Wales who are in possession as we approach the half-time mark of 40 minutes. And it's with Richie Ayres. Looking to unload before he has to take the tackle. And in the end thought better of it. Here's Davies. Schofield out to try and cut him down. The referee having a very hard look at that. And the referee saying Bateman was in front of the ball, he's offside. He actually has got him for tackling Gay without the ball.
Yes, an absolutely magnificent kick once again from Jonathan Davies. The hang time on this kick, it must be well into 4 or 5 seconds, which allows the chase really to pressurise them, but just a little too enthusiastic there. It's a shame really, because it's a superb piece of skill from Davies.
Well, the Welsh there looking to put pressure on Richard Gay, the fullback. There's clearly no intention to take the ball there. They're trying to unnerve the English fullback.
We've had 3/4 of a minute of stoppage time, and the Welsh have an 8-6 lead at the interval. Richard Gay with his first try in representative football, putting England back into it after Kevin Ellis had given the Welsh the lead. But Kelvin Skerrett has led fearlessly up front for Wales, revelling in his new role as a Welshman, the Wigan prop forward. It's 8-6 to Wales at the break. Kevin Ellis will remember this night at Ninian Park, Cardiff, for quite some time to come. Great little try, and didn't he enjoy that moment? 8-6 Wales.
It's half-time here at Ninian Park, and Wales have an 8-6 lead at the break. The try from Ellis, the 2 goals from Davis, Richard Gay and Derek Fox, the scorers for England. 8-6, the Welsh lead. And I thought Steve-O was in hospital. Well, he's having a bit of a dance, whoever he is. It's a sumo wrestling match that is being, or rather the crowd are being entertained to outside. But inside here at Ninian Park, we've got Paul Cullen and John Keir with us to look back over that first half. Tremendous entertainment, Paul. It really was. Fabulous first 40 minutes.
We said in the preview that the game was going to be fast and fierce. I think both teams should be applauded with the intensity of the game, certainly obviously in the first half. It's a midweek fixture, possibly a lot of tired legs out there, but you wouldn't believe it, would you?
You wouldn't, and it's national pride, isn't it now? I mean, it's Wales against England, it's mate against mate, it's the state of origin transferred from Australia to this part of the world, and they really are getting stuck into each other.
It all goes well for the World Cup. I honestly believe that. The Welsh forwards are setting out their task with, I think, a little bit more vigour. They're driving the ball a little bit more harder than the English. They're trying to throw the ball and unloading the tackle. If the Welsh can control their penalty counts and possibly their aggression, they, I think, will lead from the end of this game.
Well, of course, a lot of these players are coming into the match on the back of the Regal Trophy final, aren't they? And they've got a long, hard campaign already behind them. John Keir, I wonder whether it will be a question of fatigue and fitness that will come into it at the end of the day.
Yes, I'm sure that will be a factor, but it's interesting to note the Welsh tactic. They're playing a much more control game, not as expansive, and they concentrate on holding the ball for a set of 6 tackles, and then this magnificent Jonathan Davis bomb that he put up. They obviously feel that Richard Gay can be put under pressure, and Davis is skying the ball high, and there's a heavy chase on, and it's only been a lack of discipline in either pressuring Gay too much or wandering offside that's let England off. So there's a little worry for England, but I'm also pleased to see the English tactics of moving the ball about, because I'm sure when you've got somebody like Paul Newlove, that at some stage in this second half there's going to be a bust and there's going to be a try wide out from either one of these back rowers or Paul Newlove.
Well, we nearly got a try, didn't we, from an English back rower early on when Anthony Farrell almost got over the line. In fact, he did get over the line, but he was held up.
Yes, we see here there's Derek Fox moving it, and outside Gary Schofield, a beautifully weighted ball there, and it looks as if he's a scorer. But look at the defence there, Paul Aitchison, real body on the line stuff, gets himself underneath Farrell, and his pure brute strength prevented Farrell from rolling off and grounding the ball. A superb tackle, but also good English tactics, bringing plays outside Gary Schofield.
Indeed so. And then we had a bit of a mistake from poor old Ikram Butt, who's playing his England debut here tonight, and he released the ball in the tackle from Richie Ayres, and a bit of help from David Young, and as a result of this, Paul Cullen, Wales over for the try with your old mate Kevin Ellis.
Well, I mentioned the fact that Wales are keeping the game very, very tight around the rucks. That means that the English forwards are doing an awful lot of defence. It's the same players making the same tackles throughout the whole of the first half. And I thought there that I think it was Harvey Howard who didn't move quickly enough towards Kevin Ellis, allowing Kevin to step on the inside, leaving a massive big hole.
Left a big hole, and then the Welsh left a bit of a hole because they allowed Richard Gay in, but what a wonderful pass here from Schofield.
Yes, I think you must credit Gary Schofield there. His option to run the ball in the last tackle was superb, and then Richard Gay showed the ball, and that runner actually took a Welsh player out coming on the inside before Richard Gay pinned his ears back and just used brute force to get over in the corner. They've both been really very, very good tries indeed.
Very good tries indeed, and of course a very good match that we've got here. Wales against England, and Wales are just ahead at half-time by 8 points to 6. Now, competition time on the International Big League tonight. Fill in the missing answer in our Big League crossword competition tonight. Win not only the Rugby League match ball, but the official Welsh kit that I have right here in the studio now. There it is. And you're not only going to get the jersey, you're going to get the shorts and the socks to go with it. It is a collector's item, Cymru written on the back. That could, Cymru, is it? Cymru written on the back. That could be on its way to someone during the course of our match at Gateshead. England against France, 2 weeks tonight, the 15th of February. Cymru, Wales. Wales 8, England 6. That's the situation at half-time. Who's in for the victory? Who's in for first step on the ladder to the European Championship? It could be either of these two. It's tight as a drum at half-time. Stay right where you are.
You're watching.
The 60th meeting between Wales and England is going Wales' way at half-time. They lead 8 points to 6. Ellis with the try, Davis with the 2 goals. England 6 points from Gay and Fox. It might be the 60th meeting between the two, but as Jonathan Davis leads Wales out for the second half, it's worth noting it's the 3rd meeting here in the city of Cardiff. In November 1928, England won 39-15. And the great Alf Ellaby scored 3 tries. 14 years ago, England won right here at Ninian Park, 20 points to 15. The likes of Des Drummond, David Ward and Henderson Gill in the side, and a try from a certain Jeff Gratian. And Jeff Gratian, who will be retiring from the big league field a week on Sunday. And that should be quite a day at Batley. He'll be playing against his son, who now plays for Rochdale. His grandson's going to be a mascot, and you'll be able to see all the fun on boots and all in a couple of weeks' time. But here we are in the John Smith's European Championship. We're right in the middle of this match, and it's Wales against England at Ninian Park. And I'm sure that Wales will want to rub home their advantage early on before inevitable fatigue sets in, because these players are in the middle of a long, hard slog in the Stonesborough Championship. The Regal finals just behind them, and fitness will come into it.
Well, the message must be loud and clear from Clive Griffiths. Come out in the second half and more of the same. Drive the ball, control the ball and work for field position.
We mentioned the fatigue factor. Gary Connolly out of this match because he feels a bit fatigued after the exploits for Wigan on Saturday, and he's now talking to Bill.
Newly appointed assistant England coach, I think, aren't you, Gary?
No, I just pulled out through injury and I'm just helping out as best as I can do.
What's the verdict on that first half performance from the England point of view?
The England point of view is it's going well at the moment. We've just got to keep playing out the sixes, and hopefully the Wales will tire in the last 20 minutes.
Is the idea really, because you've had so little preparation, just to keep it simple, really?
Well, the both teams have a little preparation. It doesn't help with playing being a Wednesday night game. But it's the same for both sides, as I say, and it's a good game, and I think whoever plays out the sets of 6 and who looks the strongest in the last 20 minutes will win it.
Yes, Gary Connolly echoing what we're saying up here, and here's bravery, John Keir, from Richard Gay.
Yes, another superb piece of kicking skill from Jonathan Davis. A lovely chip over the top, and Richard Gay realised it was body on the line stuff, and also there was a try of begging. And although he didn't feel the ball, he put Jonathan Davis off enough, and it's now a scrum, and at least the defence can regroup. Look at the skill there, outside of the foot chip kick, and he changed his direction of run. And Richard Gay, bravery personified there.
Needs the smelling salts, Paul, and no wonder.
Well, yes, that was a very brave dive forward. No malice, of course, from Jonathan Davis. His eye was on the ball all the way through. He tried to just chip it a little bit forward, but we've said it on many occasions through the first half. They are trying to put Richard Gay under pressure. That's not the first knock he's had in this match.
You might have noticed that Jonathan Davis just jogged up to Richard Gay and checked that he was all right. The match is being played in wonderful spirit, and Richard Gay bravely now takes his place in the defensive line. Davis will try and exploit their possible injury, but Gay again, the man in the tackle, and he's groggy, there's no doubt about that. And Wales at the moment now trying to just take advantage of the fact that Richard Gay is in Cloud Cuckoo land, and Richie Ayres with the drive, and Martin Hall, and they haul him back, Howard and Sonny Nicol. Ellis the dummy half. Here's Davis. Davis trying to butter his way over. I think he's got it down. No, it's on the last tackle. Well, the ball there looks to me like it was over the line. The referee, though, ruling on the last tackle here that Wales had not grounded the ball properly. And has Russell Smith given the penalty try? No. Davis looked expectantly, but it's no try.
Well, I've seen tries given in this circumstance. Jonathan Davis legally kicked the ball forward, and in my opinion, he was prevented from going for that ball.
I think that that was the correct decision there. The hauling down just short, and his arm actually was underneath the ball. Although he was trying to scramble it over the whitewash, he failed, and that's good refereeing by Russell Smith.
And that is an attempted spear tackle by David Young that's been rightly penalised by Russell Smith. Young just picked the England player up, and it's a considerable frame of Carl Harrison, and luckily Young just let go at the last minute.
Yes, a possible dangerous situation there. I'm glad that he did let go, but again, the referee was quite correct because it could have been a dangerous situation.
Indeed so, and it was a new instruction that from the controller of referees, the referee's coaching director, Greg McCallum. Anything like that has to be penalised. Fox to Schofield as England now run it. That was a thumping tackle by Bateman on Powell, but England somehow keep possession. This is Ikram Butt, gets away from Ellis. Darting, dancing little run. Oh, and Ikram Butt loses it again, and Phil Ford picks up the pieces.
That was great defence from the Welsh in the first place. Alan Bateman pushed across on the slide, and just after that, Phil Ford came in with a thumping tackle, and not for the first time tonight, Ikram Butt loses the ball in the tackle.
And Wales now have a penalty. Gary Schofield is on his haunches, but the referee has penalised England.
Yes, a little bit of interference there from Steve McKerry, not allowing Jonathan Davies to bring the football back into play quickly, and quite rightly penalised.
Referee just holds the clock up and allows Gary Schofield to get some treatment. I think he's got blood coming from his nose. There it is, and we could be having a blood bin here.
Oh, what a bang there. Paul Newlove came in. Gary Schofield was involved in the tackle. Paul Newlove came in, a collision of heads, and you can see the result there.
Just allowing Schofield the chance to maybe stem the tide of blood, but he's on his way to the blood bin, is Gary Schofield. That will take some patching up. And so England forced to make a change at the start of this second half, and Wales have the penalty. And it's Mick Cassidy who's coming on for Gary Schofield.
Yes, Mick Cassidy, a good impact player, and I'm sure that Phil Clark will now push out into the stand-off half position. And whenever Mick Cassidy comes on for Wigan, he always has a big say in the next 10-20 minutes of play. So watch out for this kid.
David Young driving it in. Howard and Harrison, the England props, bring him down. On the charge was Kelvin Skerrett. Tell you what, the Welsh public are warming to Mr. Skerrett. Ellis. Ayres straightens it up, Richie Ayres, and he's collared by Harvey Howard and helped out by McCurry.
Lovely little inside ball from Kevin Ellis, and Richie Ayres saw that the English player had stepped out of the line. That was great attack.
It's Ellis again who picks himself up, plays the ball to Martin Hall. Hall a short pass to Davis, and he was watched all the way then by Anthony Farrell. Wales so close. Schofield in the blood bin, Cassidy on for him. Little knock on there by Martin Hall. Just trying to move it too quickly off the ground.
Yes, just a small one, but it was quite an untidy play, the ball from Jonathan Davis. He took his time, but it caught his foot as he was rolling it back. And that caused the little knock on there from Martin Hall, and it's the turnover, and it's English ball.
With Ikram Butt, and he is driven into the ground by Skerrett. Now here's Phil Clark, the England captain, saying in the news conference on Monday that he fancied a more intense game than just a game of tick and pass midweek. He is getting his wish. It has all the pace and passion and commitment you would expect of an England-Wales confrontation.
Paul Moriarty, I think he's having a superb game for the Welsh this afternoon. He's all over the park, making big tackles.
This is a super run down the line from Newlove. Davis after him, Ford after him, tackle not completed. Now it is. It's the last one for England, but what a wonderful run down that line from Newlove. Fox will hoist the kick. Farrell called for it. Aitchison's after it. It bounces to Fox, and Fox will score. Derek Fox on his international comeback, chased his own kick. Aitchison didn't reach it, and Fox snapped at it and picked up the 4 points.
Well, great pressure from the English, and we've said in the preview that Paul Newlove will make an impact somewhere in this game. That was strong running and great control to stay in the field of play. And England just putting the pressure on the Welsh. Derek Fox, a lovely flighted kick, eye on the ball all the way through. He's there, he's waiting for the bad bounce. straight into his hands, and Derek Fox just diving over unopposed.
Yes, an absolutely superb kick. We were applauding Jonathan Davis for his eyeballs, but this is an excellent one. And I'm very impressed by Anthony Faddel's challenge. It was a totally legal challenge. He went for the ball, and it came loose, and Derek Fox was on the hand to pick it up, sniff it out, and put it down over the whitewash.
He will have enjoyed that moment. He said he wanted to make an impact on this match, and suddenly he's grabbed 6 points for England, and what's more, he's given his country the lead. Wales 8, England 12. Derek Fox then jogging back. Paul Aitchison with a bit of a blunder as he went for the high kick. Couldn't wheel it in, but he was under enormous pressure from the English attackers. And Derek Fox said, thank you very much. Touchdown for the 4. Improved it himself. England have the lead.
Yes, this is a very, very important set of 6 tackles for England. I'm sure that they'll be concentrating on ball control, and another kick to the corners from Derek Fox.
Welsh change, and Neil Cowie has been brought up, the reinforcements off the bench. Alan Bateman quickly in on the tackle on Ikram Butt. Not a bad man to have on the bench, number 16, Neil Cowie, the Wigan prop forward, second rower. And he's on for his international debut for his adopted country.
Well, England now trying to run the ball out with a little bit more vigour and gusto, and Ikram Butt has been a very difficult man to put down tonight.
Harvey Howard now driving it over the halfway line. 3 men it takes to bring Howard down. McCurry, the dummy half, finds Fox. Fox under pressure from Davis, just pops the ball up, and Richard Gay was there. He dabs it forward, that bounced off him. The kick was good, but he went to regather and knocked it forward.
Yes, a chance there. If Richard Gay had managed to keep hold of the ball, he was in the clear, but it was tremendous pressure from Jonathan Davis. They realised Derek Fox was trying to drill the ball into the corner. He came up, pressured him, and Richard Gay had to take a Brokefield kick.
This now is a very difficult time for the Welsh. They have to maintain their intensity, and it was noticeable then that on that chase from Jonathan Davis, the majority of the Welsh pack was standing and watching as Richard Gay tried to chip over their defensive line.
Neil Cowie lost that. It's a knock-on. Off the bench, and difficult, John, to catch up with the pace of a match like this.
It certainly is there, and there's no doubt he was trying to get up, bring the ball back into play quickly. The ball just slipped from his grasp, and it is very difficult to come off the bench and make an impact, but that's what the substitutes are for, and that's what they're going to have to do.
It's a Wigan front row packing down there for Wales. Skerritt, Hall and Cowie. This is the Wigan and England captain, Phil Clark. 2 weeks' time, don't forget, the second leg of this international tournament. England against France. We'll be at Gateshead for that. And if England win here tonight, they can wrap the championship up that evening. But I'm sure that the Welsh will have a big say in the minutes that remain in this game at Ninian Park. McCurry out wide, Robinson is home. And it looks like he's pulled a hamstring as he touched down. Bad news for Wigan, bad news for England, but Robinson has got the 4 points.
Well, that was great play from Steve McCurry. Noticeable, he's going forward with the ball. That draws in the defensive line, and a superb pass out wide, and Robinson strolls in, but a little grimace on the face there.
Yes, when a player runs at the line, it commits defenders, it forces defenders to make decisions. And unfortunately there, Anthony Sullivan was caught in no man's land, and Steve McCurry simply cut him out with a beautiful long pass, which Jason Robinson accepted with glee, but it looks as if he's pulled a fetlock.
Looks as though he has. 20-year-old Jason Robinson, his 3rd international try. Who will ever forget the debut he had for Great Britain at Wembley against the Kiwis, and Robinson looks like he is limping out of the action here at Ninian Park after scoring that try. No replacement yet. It's a problem for Ellery Hanley because, as we pointed up before the match, he's got 4 forwards on the bench. That's the angle that Derek Fox has. Difficult kick for him. Just hasn't got the legs or the direction. But England have suddenly taken an 8-point lead in this match.
Well, here's the decisive play now. The forward movement from Steve McCurry draws in the 2 Welsh defenders, and a lovely floated ball out wide sends in Jason Robertson unopposed.
Jason Robinson on the bench. And I think they're waiting for Gary Schofield to return to the field. And Schofield does return from the blood bin. But that I think I'm right in saying will count as one of England's substitutions, because he hasn't replaced the man who came on for him in the blood bin. So Robinson goes off, injured. Schofield returns from the blood bin. That's another England substitution used.
I think as we spoke at half-time and mentioned how well the Welsh forwards are doing powering the ball forward, it seems to me as if it's taken a big effect, and now the defensive line is a little bit shot to pieces, and people like Steve McCurry are really taking advantage of it, and they're getting the yardage. And the fact that England are also playing the bump and pass type of football where they're keeping the ball alive, it's causing the Welsh defence to work overtime.
Well, we said when Steve McCurry took to the park, he runs extremely well from acting half, and he's putting the Welsh defence under an enormous amount of pressure. He's got them on the back foot.
And so has Gary Schofield with kicking like that, measured to perfection.
Just what the doctor ordered there. Turn the Welsh, put them back in their own 20-metre zone. It's a long, long way back down to the English line.
Gary Schofield, 46 caps for Great Britain. Level now with the great Mick Sullivan on that total. Here's Anthony Sullivan, who was dragged in the field of play, and the referee is unhappy, and so is Sullivan unhappy with that challenge by Schofield.
Yes, I think that was a little high again. Gary's just lost the pace of the game. Went in a little high, and there's a little bit of a shirt tug there, and quite rightly, Anthony Sullivan not best pleased.
So it's a penalty to Wales. The kick from Davis drags Wales up to the halfway line. Phil Clark getting back in the defensive line. Cowie now. Oh, and he nearly lost it then, but he managed to hang on, haul the dummy half to Ellis. Here's Skerrett. Ellis calling the shots, trying to organise his teammates behind him. Perrett's the runner. 18 penalties, England have had 10. Davis now. This crowd would love to see a Jonathan Davis special, but England, in the shape of Nicol and McCurry, not in the mood to let him have one. Richie Ayres called for that. This is Sullivan. Good tackling by Powell. Ayres. Moriarty. Dabs it through Moriarty, and just too strong for Sullivan.
Well, no one's tried harder for Wales tonight than Paul Moriarty. He's had some massive hits in defence, and just look at that determination as he tries to race for the ball.
Must say, John, this augurs well for Wales and England indeed in the World Cup in the autumn, because this is a very good run for these two sides as Roland Phillips comes on for Wales, and with such depth now that the Welsh have, they're going to give this World Cup a go, I fancy.
I think both these teams will be very impressive in the World Cup, and I think that it's very, very good for rugby league in general, in that such an intense, competitive, disciplined game is being played like this in front of a large audience down here in Cardiff.
Yes, absolutely. This game could really take off. Wales against England. This could be one of the highlights of any rugby league season. Certainly no lack of commitment out there on the field from either of these sides. When you think the players that are down under in Australia with the Great Britain 7 squad, well, it could be a tremendous fixture to have on the calendar every year. Here's Carl Harrison. Strength from Harrison. Defence from Hall. McCurry spins it into the arms of Schofield. Outside of the foot, Ford sweeps up the danger. Schofield went for the tackle, and as Ford was able to step away, but couldn't get away from Newland.
I think the time has come really now for the Welsh to sort of stray away from the driving it up the middle and relying on the Davies kick. I think they've just got to start taking one or two chances, be a bit more expansive, try and offload more in the tackle, and see if something comes from that.
Well, if there's a man on this part that can unload under pressure and take the fight to the English defence, I'm sure it's Roland Phillips. He has a big point to prove, and certainly on the international scene.
Neil Cowie, three round him: Harrison, Nicol, Cassidy. Martin Hall, the dummy half. It's now with Davis. Little chip over the top this time. Aitchison chasing after it. Clark went for it, and it's back to 0 on the tackle count for Wales. Clark couldn't reel it in. Davis picked up the pieces. Big chance now for Wales. Ellis gives it to Bateman. Bateman cutting in field, and 3 to wait for him.
Good attempt there by Phil Clark, but tremendous pressure from the Welsh, and that's what caused him to spill the ball. Legally going for the ball, jumping for it.
Ellis is the dummy half. And that was Roland Phillips, but he made no progress under the challenge from Cassidy.
The English defence in very tight. They have to move the ball wide.
Moriarty looking round the corner, dabbed through by Ayres. It's a knock-on, says the referee. Now, should that have been play on for the Welsh?
Absolutely tremendous tackle here from Gary Schofield under pressure. Carl Harrison came in over the top to help him and knock Paul Moriarty down. He did actually lose the ball.
Good decision from referee Russell Smith. So it's England's head and feed. Fox gets the possession, finds his captain, Clark. England have won the last 7 consecutive meetings against Wales. Last defeat, a Duo match, 2-6 at Leeds in 1977. On course here to make it 8 on a run. But we're in the last quarter of the match now. And can Wales come back? Well, if this crowd has anything to do, and that looked dangerous to me from Skerritt. What's more, Darryl Powell just picked himself up, shook his head. So let's get on with it.
Superb kick once again. Derek Fox puts it down there. But the chase was a little indifferent as only Derek Fox got up. The others were a good 10-15 metres behind him.
It's Wales in possession. Anthony Sullivan might have just about brushed that with his studs. Wales seeing the better of the possession midway through this second half. Phillips does well and loads in the tackle. Finds Ellis. Davis alongside Ellis. Ellis taking them on, and Harrison completes the tackle. Now Richie Ayres. Good run from Ayres. He was looking for support. Iestyn Harris. Tackled by Cassidy. Dummy half Moriarty. Last one here for Wales. Dabs it through, does Ellis for Sullivan, and Powell is content to allow it to run touching goal.
Well, that was a great little kick from Kevin Ellis, just putting the pressure on. And I think Anthony Sullivan, an extra yard, and that could have been a try for Wales.
Yes, I think that may well be a tactic that could be put to good use. We've got Darryl Powell here out on the right wing, perhaps not as agile as a wing would be, so he might be a little suspect when it's turned.
Here's Fox now for England. The Welsh trying to keep them in their own half of the field. This is Harrison with the run. Harvey Howard spinning away and coming head-to-head with Cowie. I must say, Darryl Powell out here on the wing. He does have his critics, but doesn't he get to do a ton of defensive work for his team, whoever the colour?
Darryl Powell is an absolutely superb player, not simply in defence either. He does a lot of little things correct on attack. Be it chasing a high ball or offloading the tackle, is a brilliant player.
Aitchison, what a great take. His Wigan teammate Clark was right underneath him.
Well, that was a superb field of the ball from Paul Aitchison. Bravery personified. That was a crucial catch.
And look who's the man who's doing the tackling on Ford. Number 3, it was Darryl Powell, as Wales immediately launched a counter-attack.
I think England now, they can play slightly different tactics. Now they've got the cushion of this 8-point lead, which is 2 scores. They can really look after the ball and not look to have to push the ball, force the pass or move it expansively. And it's Wales who are actually, the cards are down, the gauntlet's down. They've got to move it, they've got to offload.
Yes, they've got to take the chances, as Roland Phillips has done, and he's found Ellis. And the referee blows the whistle. Ellis caught one.
The English defence in scramble mode at the moment, and a high tackle there, and the correct decision from referee Russell Smith. He said when Roland Phillips entered the fray, he has the ability to take the tackle and unload the ball, and that provided the platform for Kevin Ellis to put England under pressure.
Cassidy blowing hard, the England substitute. And Jonathan Davis wants to kick for goal while he lines his sights up. Let us pick up news of Jason Robinson, who's off the field injured. This is important from a Wigan point of view, I'm sure. And let's hear from Bill.
Jason Robinson sitting on the England bench at the moment with his left hamstring encased in ice virtually, and he says he's pulled the hamstring. He doesn't know just how serious it is at the moment, but he's looking pretty unhappy with life. It could be an expensive evening even if England do win this one, because of course Richard Russell is already off, and it sounds as though he's got ankle ligament damage. Wigan and Castleford meet each other at the weekend.
Indeed so, a match you can see on Sky Sports. But we don't want to see the stars dropping out injured like Robinson and Russell, and I'm sure that the Wigan and Castleford supporters watching this tonight will echo that sentiment. Davis with the penalty. Dead eye from that range is Davis. 16-10, it's all now down to a converted try. That's the gap.
That could be a great psychological advantage for the Welsh. There's a lot of tired legs now in that English pack, and I'm sure the Welsh are going to come back and set the fight now to England.
Also, I think the message might well be going on to the English side. Now that there's this 6-point gap, next time they're up in that 20-metre zone, a 1-point field goal might well be called for.
Derek Fox restarts. Underneath it was Aitchison. He gives it to Moriarty, who, despite the fact that he was doubtful before this match with injury, really has carried the fight to the English. Oh, Richie Ayres almost juggled the ball out of his own possession. There's confirmation of Wigan Cass. Note the later time, Sunday at 10. 10 o'clock Sunday night, Wigan Cass on Sky. Roland Phillips finds his teammate Kevin Ellis. Anthony Sullivan wanted it, and, well, Kevin Ellis just delayed fatally.
That was a great play, though, from Roland Phillips. The Warrington-Workington connection. Phillips making the break, and Kevin Ellis in support. Unfortunately for the Welsh, the ball just going to ground on the final pass.
Yes, I think if Anthony Sullivan would have taken that cleanly, I'd have fancied him in a foot race against Daryl Powell.
Indeed so, but the pass was just a second late. And Sullivan couldn't keep both hands on it. Derek Fox goes down in a heap. A penalty at the scrum from Russell Smith.
Yeah, I think the penalty there was for one of the back rows perhaps reefing the ball out, as we saw on the pitch. It's actually the prop forward there as Derek Fox tried to pick it up and clear the ball away from the scrum.
Penalty to England. Schofield finds touch, and back will come the English, and it'll be interesting to see whether they go for the 1-point drop goal. Harvey Howard running it in diagonally towards the post. It was Carl Harrison that. This now is Harvey Howard. He unloads the pass, but straight into the arms of a Welshman.
Well, there's no need for this. When you're 6 points up and you hit the 20-metre zone on the second tackle, that's the last thing you want to be doing. Forcing a pass, absolutely no need at all.
Moriarty now. Great cheers from this Cardiff public when Moriarty gets the ball. Skerritt unloads, finds Davis, a space for Davis. Davis has got Schofield for pace. Can he cut inside round Gay? What a tackle. Richard Gay, coffee book. Wales swarming forward, the sort of run that lifts a team. Now Roland Phillips, back to nobody in particular, but Wales keep the possession. This is Aitchison, short ball, Bateman round the corner. His second, and it's close enough to the post. That could be a 6-pointer. Kevin Ellis, his second try of the night, and Cardiff rises to Ellis.
That was absolutely superb rugby league. Roland Phillips, his ability to unload the ball in the tackle, puts England on the scramble. And Paul Aitchison with a superb break, and inside, a short ball to Alan Bateman, who's extremely strong. A speculator inside to Kevin Ellis. And my word, this man has played superbly tonight. Jonathan Davis didn't take any chances with this break. There could have been a ball here that would have been putting Wales under pressure. Davis held, and that allowed Wales to put the pressure on a little bit further out wide.
Yes, just what we've been calling for. Moving the ball wide, keep it. There's a chance there, but to keep the ball alive, offloading. Great flick up from Richie Ayres. Paul Aitchison sucks a man in. Beautiful step, and then what a ball from Alan Bateman to the ever-supporting Kevin Ellis, who slides over. What a magnificent try.
Super try from Ellis, and Paul Newlove is the latest England casualty to be helped from this Ninian Park field. It's a very expensive night for England, for Castleford, for Wigan, and who knows, for Bradford Northern. Sympathetic applause as Newlove goes off and shakes his head. And you see Newlove come in, and he collided there with Cowie, and he didn't really get off the field, off the floor rather, and now he's been carried off. So, problems for England, but this kick from Davis could level it again.
Well, as we said before the game, there was 1 or 2 questions about the tactic of 4 forward substitutes, and we've found with the injury to Jason Robinson, the injury to Paul Newlove, 2 3/4, really it's caused England to have to reorganise, and perhaps it might cause them to lose the shape, and you never know, it might cause them to lose the ball game.
Davis with an important conversion, and Davis lifts it over the bar. Kevin Ellis's night so far with 2, but Jonathan Davis with the conversion. It's level pegging at Ninian Park. 16 points apiece.
Well, it was the ability of the Welsh team to unload the ball in the tackle that forced England into scramble. There was bodies everywhere, an inside ball from Alan Bateman, and English defence just could not cover across in time. Kevin Ellis, alert as ever. This man loves to score tries. He's had a great game.
Hang on to your hats for the last 10, plus stoppages.
Yes, this will really be dig into your boots time for this last 10 minutes. There'll be some very, very tired bodies out there, and it will just be who's got that pride, who's got that passion, who really wants to win. And also there's that little element of skill, and I still say watch out for the 1-pointer.
Newlove has gone off, and it's Simon Baldwin who has come on for the last 10 minutes here. But you get the feeling that the Welsh are being lifted by this crowd and by the occasion, and they're running strongly now.
I think also lifted by the performances of the big men like Kelvin Skerritt, like Richie Ayres, and like Paul Moriarty.
Harris to Sullivan, it looked forward to me. The referee says play on. Sullivan taking them on out wide. It's scrambling defence now by England, and what's more, the referee was about to blow for a penalty. He's let Wales play on.
It's good refereeing there from Russell Smith. Rather than give a penalty out here, he saw Wales getting 20 metres and he's let the flow of the game continue.
Harris finds Aitchison, and he's wheeled in by Richard Gay. It's the last one here for Wales. Drop goal attempt, and Davis has got it. Jonathan Davis with the 1-pointer.
Yes, as we said, watch out for the 1-pointer, and there's none better than this fellow. Well, all around you, losing your head. There's one guy out there who just kept his cool, calm, collected, straight between the uprights.
History's repeating itself. Davis's 1-pointer was the difference between Wales and France last season.
Well, Jonathan Davis, a man who could play extremely well under pressure. That was coolness, that was composure, and he simply drilled the ball home.
Steve McNamara has come on for England. It's all changed for England as Ellery Hanley, their coach, tries to shore up the defences here. 17-16, 1 point in it, less than 8 minutes to go.
Yes, last throw of the dice there. We've got all the English substitutes now used, all the fresh legs on the field. Let's see if they can pull something out of the bag.
Wales are on the verge of a very famous victory. They've got to go back 46 years exactly to their last win over England on home soil. Skerritt has gone off for Wales. Here's Aitchison. We catch up with all the substitutions. Howard's gone off. McNamara has come on. It's a frantic night in Cardiff. But that kick from Martin Hall, just too long.
It's good thinking there from Martin Hall. What he's trying to do is actually kick the ball and put it out of play just to let the clock wind down.
Skerritt's gone off and David Young has returned. Ikram Butt can't make any ground. Wales now are tackling their hearts out. This is McNamara.
This has to be a big set of 6 from the Welsh. No penalties. They have to play a controlled game.
They've just conceded the penalty. It's 60-40 to Wales in terms of possession.
Yes, David Young rather foolishly there, just interfering around the back of the play, the ball. And all he's doing, soft yards, easy 20 metres, and a chance on now for England.
Let's hear the news of Paul Newlove's injury, Bill.
Well, it does sound as though Paul Newlove has got a fairly serious groin injury. He was taken straight to the dressing room, and we're just waiting to find out the extent of that injury. Kelvin Skerritt's just come off after a mighty performance for Wales. He got a fantastic reception from the main stand, and I think, you know, the Welsh have found themselves a new cult hero. They really have taken to Kelvin Skerritt tonight.
They've taken to all this Welsh team, but England are only a point away. This match is up for the winning in the next 6 minutes, plus stoppages. Here's a match winner for England, Ikram Butt. Still running Butt. Now McCurry scampers away. Wales, perhaps fatally, allowing England to get up ahead of steam. They're in the 20-metre zone. Fox, Schofield. Ball to Powell, and he's barreled to the ground.
Well, England taking the opportunity there to run the ball wide. Possibly Derek Fox should have had a shot at goal and brought them back level in this game.
But what a magnificent tackle there from Alan Bateman, that tried to run it wide out. He made an absolutely crucial tackle on the 6th tackle, and now it's Welsh ball.
17-16 to the Welsh Red Dragons. They're in possession. They'll see out their set of 6. Cowie. Yes, new cult heroes in the valleys for the Welsh. Skerritt, Ayres, Roland Phillips, though, they know all about him down here. Great run. Sullivan, support in field from Harris. It's 6 to go. Harris taking them on. Took a high shot from Schofield. Support from Ellis. Ellis is howled down by Powell. It's 6 to go for Wales. England on the rack. Harris, still Harris. Good tackling, Derek Fox. England scrambling now in defence. Sullivan, Hall dragging Wales to within a metre. Great finish, great match, what a contest. England have pinched it, Cassidy, but Wales have the penalty.
I thought the approach on this was superb, yes. The English player diving forward there and causing a little bit of confusion at the play of the ball, and the referee in situations will always decide with the side that has the ball.
Yes, Mick Cassidy there diving out of the line. The referee's looking to play advantage, but he just couldn't do it. Dived out of the line, took a chance, but it didn't work, and I'm sure Jonathan Davies will try for the 2, and if he doesn't get them, he's going to make sure the ball goes dead, and he's going to wind that clock down.
Absolutely, Davies has taken the heat out of the situation. The captain said, I'll take a shot at goal, and he will take all the time in the world about this. And the important thing, Paul, even if he misses and the ball goes dead, Wales will get the ball back from the dropout.
I think the tactics from the Welsh have been excellent in this second half. They're queuing up to drive the ball, and from that play, which started basically in the Welsh 20-metre line, we had Neil Cowie and Richie Ayres making tremendous breaks. Roland Phillips driving at the English defence, making a half break and unloading the ball. And it was Iestyn Harris who took a ball off Anthony Sullivan and kept the play alive. The English defence was in absolute scramble, and that basically panicked them into that penalty.
The Cardiff crowd called for hush, and Davies has missed it. What's more, I was going to say he hasn't got it dead, but he has, and Wales will get the ball back. 17-16 it stays. It's a night for jangling nerves in Cardiff.
Yes, time elapsed there, as important as the point. And just as you pointed out before, Eddie, the fact that they get the ball back's very important. There'll be 50 seconds gone by the time this set of 6 is completed, and that leaves England with very, very, very little time indeed to clinch the game.
What a night it will be for Welsh Rugby League if they win here. I just wonder what it will do to the standing of the game in the Principality. This is Neil Cowie. He is hauled down, though, by the English defence. Paul Moriarty.
Quite significant, I think, that whereas before the Welsh were emphasising quick play of the balls, it's exactly the opposite now. Ball security and slow it down.
And the bang in front of the post, another one-pointer from Davies, perhaps. England thought he was going for it. He slides the kick out wide. He was giving the opportunity to Bateman to chase it. Instead, he's found touch.
Yes, good work by Steve McCurry, who closed him down. But this is still a good piece of play, because he's run it to the corners, he's put it out of bound, he's wasted valuable seconds, he's got the defensive line set. It's going to be tough for England to score from this position.
A minute and a half plus stoppages. Phil Clark hanging on for England. Have England got anything left? Cassidy scampers out of one tackle. David Young brings him down. Ikram Butt. Clark again. He doesn't want to end up on a losing side. McCurry. This is Sonny Nicol. England gradually making the yards back into Welsh territory. 60 seconds plus stoppages to go. Schofield. Another long ball out wide. Powell drops it. Referee takes a look at the touch judge, and it's a knock-on. That could be curtains.
Good refereeing by Russell Smith there. Rather than make a snap decision, consulted his touch judge, and quite rightly the ball was propelled in a forward motion. So that means it's scrum, Welsh head ball, and look at that time ticking away.
Half a minute to go. The 7th England handling error, and perhaps the most significant. Listen to the crowd in Cardiff, roaring Wales on to victory. Kevin Ellis, the two-try hero, named here tonight as man of the match.
I think Kevin Ellis has had a superb game, but he must have been pushed very, very close indeed by the likes of Paul Moriarty and Kelvin Skerritt in that Welsh pack. I thought the Welsh pack have been absolutely superb.
We're in stoppage time. Phil Ford will take all the time in the world to get back to his feet. He's an old campaigner, is Phil Ford. Richie Ayres. Great run from Ayres.
Yes, you must have said that quite a few times, Eddie. Richie Ayres has had a very, very strong game indeed. Made many, many yards.
Roland Phillips. Great tackle by Cassidy. The bang in front again. Davis for another one-pointer. And that wraps it up. That's the match for Wales. And the Red Dragons are delighted.
Well, they set that up brilliantly. Davis well deep. Has a good look, takes his time, head down all the time, straight through the middle.
He's done it many times for his country in the other code. He's increased the Welsh lead to 2 points. We're deep in stoppage time.
The call from Jonathan Davis then, very clear indeed. Take the 5 drives, then I'll kick. They have to play the percentages now and make no mistakes whatsoever in this closing moments of play.
Yes, England can still come back. It's not over yet. Roland Phillips, terrific run from him.
Well, I'll take a bet on the Welsh, Eddie, if you want.
Well, you wouldn't before the kick-off. There'll be money changing hands between these two tonight. Neil Cowie. There's no doubt these new Welsh players have added to this strength. That ball was too narrow from Martin Hall. It's run dead. So England will restart with a tap. Now then, Ikram Butt, length of the field. Not this time. Over 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Bateman with the tackle.
Well, all caution's just got to go to the wind now. They've just got to throw the ball about, keep it alive. It's their only chance.
Sonny Nicol. Sonny Nicol still on halfway. 2.5 minutes. Stoppage time played. Schofield. Nicol again. Take it up the middle was the call. Thrilling match though. Tremendous contest. Commitment, passion, this match has had it all. And have we got a twist in the tail yet? The ball went backwards, play on. McNamara to Captain Clark. Over the top from him to Powell, and he was thundered by Ford.
Great defence there from Phil Ford. The Welsh side now are swarming in defence. They're not going to give England a chance.
The high kick from Fox. Aitchison's coming for it, and Aitchison claims it. To a great roar of delight.
Great take from Paul Aitchison. Eyes on the ball, took off from the ground to meet it and wrapped it up. That's a really big take.
I think Paul Aitchison now catapulting himself onto the world stage of rugby league. That was defence. That was taking a high ball to the highest order.
Sullivan trying to end with a flourish for the Welsh. Sonny Nicholas and Helen's teammates after him. This is Iestyn Harris. Great tackle from Gay. There's the siren. The Welsh punch the air with delight. The crowd dance on the terraces. And 2 tries from Kevin Ellis. And the smile from Davis. They're all Welshmen now. Aitchison and Moriarty and Cowie. A little glance from the England captain, Phil Clark. But it has been a night of high drama here at Ninian Park. The Welsh will enjoy this moment. There will be some celebrating in Cardiff tonight. Not too much, because they all have matches at the weekend. But it has been a great and an historic night for Welsh Rugby League. The first win over England on home soil in 46 years. And you can tell what this victory means to the Welsh. Look at those faces. Look at Kevin Ellis, who's with Bill.
Oh! Kevin, that's some celebration. That's unbelievable, you know. The atmosphere here, you know, it's not a big crowd, but they go right behind us, and that's what helped us through in the end.
But you got off to a great start with that first try. That was a fantastic try.
Oh yeah, it was a dream start, but we slacked off a bit, and England had a couple of tries. I think, you know, that had something to do with the referee, but at the end of the day, you know, we wanted to win.
Yes, it showed tremendous character to come back when you were saying that 16-6 down.
Yeah, you know, our backs against the wall, but, you know, we got the Welsh feathers on, and we're never going to throw the towel in.
And this really does bode well for the future, doesn't it, now? If we can build on this.
Oh, yeah, you know, the next step now is France away, and we want another win.
2 tries for Wales. I mean, whatever the code, to score 2 tries for your country is fantastic, isn't it?
Oh, it's great, especially on a night like this, you know, all the players that come in have, you know, they've given 120%, and, you know, the 2 tries are just there.
Kevin, thanks very much. This man has been on the winning side against Wales for England. Now he's on the winning side, I beg your pardon, for England against Wales. Now you're on the winning side for Wales against England. Bizarre.
Get right, Bill, yeah. All right, so I'm made up. You know, a lot of people said I've not got much pride in this jersey, but I think I showed tonight I've got a lot of pride, you know. I'm happy for the lads, you know, they've put a lot of hard work in. And over the short time that we've had together, I think it was a great spirited performance.
Did you find you got more pride as the game went on? You got more wound up? Because certainly in the second half you came out firing.
I said to you before, you know, in 92 that I wanted to play for Wales, and today listening to the national anthem, I was really proud to wear the feathers on my chest, you know, and I got out there and hopefully did a good job.
Your backs were against the wall at one stage, weren't they?
Yeah, you know, they probably, in the past, you know, they would have probably given up, but today I think they showed a lot of spirit out there, and I couldn't have said, you know, the crowd were tremendous, even though it wasn't a big crowd. I think they got behind us and, you know, probably give us that extra 10%.
Has this been more than you'd anticipated, playing for Wales in Cardiff?
Well, I think it's a fairy tale, you know, and I'll probably be on Christian sport now.
Well, he's got the 3 feathers on his chest, and what's more, he's got a bit of a Welsh accent there. And Mike Nicholas in the thick of it, the Welsh team manager. This has been a very famous night for Welsh Rugby League in Cardiff. England have been beaten by 18 points to 16. Tremendous win for the Welsh. Roland Phillips came on in the second half. He really did make his part. What a great game for the Welsh. What a night for Welsh Rugby League.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and especially the home buyers. All of you have, at one time or another, worried about how much your monthly repayments might or might not be. But have you ever thought of finding out through Nationwide's quick quote? Oh, you haven't? Oh, well, in that case, you will be even more interested in the virtues of our sponsor's product.
Home buying without a hitch. Building a future with Nationwide, the building society.
The Welsh have come back from a 16 points to 8 deficit to win this match by 18 points to 16. Their scorers, Kevin Ellis and captain Jonathan Davis, the two drop goals at the end of the day, proving absolutely crucial. Incredible that England outscored them try-wise 3-2. Gay, Fox and Robinson. Fox kicked 2 goals. Over 6,000 here to see it. And the captain, Jonathan Davis, is with Bill Now Live.
Jonathan, one of the sweetest victories you've experienced against the English, maybe?
Of course, any result is a great result, but especially when we come back home and we're not rugby league players, so they say. So hopefully we proved a point today. But more importantly, I think the crowd tonight saw a first-class game of rugby league. They were amazed with the ferocity of the hits and everything. Considering that they were teammates against each other. And hopefully now on a Wednesday night, with a good attendance, hopefully more come watch us.
Second half especially, you seem to come out firing.
Yeah, well, we were 8 points behind. I felt like it short into the second half, and as ninth seeds in the World Cup, we shouldn't have any chance. But we showed a lot of character, and the new lads that have come in have given us a lot of stability, a lot of power. And the backs and responded to that.
Certainly created a tremendous finale, a great atmosphere as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic to be associated, in a winning game team against England, and it was a difficult game. They gave 100% and they performed admirably. They've got a few players to come back in, but it just puts the game on, a great platform now in Wales for the World Cup.
Jonathan, thanks very much. Go and celebrate now.
Definitely.
Not too much, though, because he's got a big match at the weekend as well. There's the stats from this match. England, well, they really had to tackle themselves out of it, didn't they? 158 tackles to 124. 13 scrums. That's unusual in this part of the world when you mention the word rugby. Penalties 10-12. Handling errors 5-7. And Wales match in each half. I think Jonathan Davis there, made a very good point indeed. I just wonder what this win will do now for the game in the Principality. It is without a doubt a tremendous result for the Welsh. John Keir, what do you think? I mean, the good little crowd here, but hopefully next time double that to see Wales on a roll.
Well, without a doubt. I mean, they were absolutely superb tonight. The whole event's been magnificent. There's been lots of pride, there's been lots of passion, but the skill level's been very, very high indeed. It's been very intense. It's been a first-class game of rugby league. I mean, the Australians talk about the state of origin. I think we've seen the birth of something that will be able to rival that in years to come, and it will simply produce better and better rugby league players for our competition.
Well, they always say, don't they, in Australia, that the state of origin is the reason why they are so strong at international level. And this, tonight, was, I was going to say on a par, that might be a little bit too generous to it, but it is getting there.
Correct. It gives more and more of our elite players competition at the very, very highest level, and they have to perform skills, they have to make the correct decisions under intense pressure, and that's what test matches are like, and that's just what we want, and it's what the spectators want. I'm sure that if they bring a game down here again and it's a similar calibre, I'm sure the crowd will be more than doubled, and they'll love every minute.
I rather fancy too, if they took this match into England now, after seeing this match tonight, Paul Cullen, and the last game against the English down here in Wales, we could be looking at a very good crowd in England too.
I'm certain of it. There was a tremendous amount of passion and pride from the Welsh, and it's an interesting point. There's a host of ex-rugby union forwards in that Welsh pack, and some say it takes them an awful long time to settle into the pack, into the forwards in rugby league, but it didn't look that way tonight. I thought Moriarty and Dai Young ran extremely well. I thought personally Paul Moriarty was outstanding.
Absolutely, and when Roland Phillips came on, he made quite a difference too, didn't he? And it was full steam ahead for the passion, and once these two drop goals went over, well, there's only 6,000 here, but they nearly took the roof off Ninian Park.
I think that the fact of Jonathan Davis and Kevin Ellis directing the game plan for Wales against the English was a significant point. They had the aptitude to control the pace of the game, and when the tactics needed to be changed, they had the ability to up the tempo, drop the tempo, control the ball, unload the ball, and go for the drop goals when it was necessary.
I wonder whether you noticed the little aside from Jonathan Davis. He said, we're not supposed to be rugby league players, but I think we've proved one or two wrong here tonight. John Keir, I think that there was a little bit of that in the Welsh preparation, wasn't there? Look, they say we're not real rugby league players. Let's go and show them.
Oh, without a doubt. But there's no doubt when you talk about people of the calibre of Jonathan Davies, of Alan Bateman and of Kevin Ellis, they're athletes of the highest quality, and they're very, very skilled people, and they'd perform on any stage, just as they've proved tonight. And those 2 drop goals are absolute peaches, just at the right time, magnificent.
This is the second one.
Look how he set himself up, giving himself plenty of room, and the technique, if you're going to put that in a coaching manual, you just need to run that film. It's magnificent.
Yes, he set and he got the angle and he gave himself space, and once it left his boot there was never a doubt, was there?
Oh, head down, struck it sweetly, straight between the uprights, and he can go and celebrate now.
They can indeed, but only a small celebration because, as we say, they've all got matches tomorrow, and I'm sure, Paul Cullen, from a Warrington point of view, you will be keeping a very close eye on Mr Davies tonight to make sure he doesn't go over the top.
Well, hopefully so. It was interesting to see and very encouraging Alan Bateman coming back to something like his true form. He is a tremendous player, not been obviously in the best of form for Warrington with his injury situation so far this season. Alan Bateman obviously is a key player and figures highly in our plans. Good to see him coming back to his best.
What do you think this does for Welsh Rugby League now? Because there is a great groundswell of feeling down here, courtesy of Sky Sports, it must be said. They watch every Friday and every Sunday. It is big business down here.
It certainly is, and I think they have an excellent chance now to expand and promote the game in Wales. And if we want to just single out 1 or 2 people, I thought Paul Aitchison at fullback is a typical person who excelled in this game. It was a great chance for Paul Aitchison to play. He declared himself Welsh. He wanted to play in this match. He volunteered, and he basically has exposed himself tonight as a great player on the international stage of rugby league.
Yes, quite a night for Paul Aitchison, quite a night for Roland Phillips with runs like that. But, you know, there's 1 or 2 English Welshmen, and Aitchison's certainly one of them. And I rather fancy they will all feel like Welshmen tonight, whether they're born in England, Scotland, Ireland or wherever, John Keir.
I think that they'll feel 10 foot tall there. I mean, some of the skills on there were delightful. We saw Richie Ayres flick the ball up from the ground, which was magnificent. Then we saw Paul Aitchison pulling a defender and serve to Alan Bateman. Then Alan Bateman, he hit the gap, and he just, that one-handed pass inside was superb. And all credit to Kevin Ellis for supporting on the inside. And I think you could see with a smile on his face that he was quite pleased.
I think that's the understatement of the night. Don't forget our big league crossword competition. We'll give you the result of this in our match from Gateshead in a fortnight when we see England take on the French. That's the prize. The answers, please, to the big league crossword competition, Sky Sports, P.O. Box 6, Isleworth, Middlesex, TW75QQ. And you could win the match ball and a full Welsh kit if you can give me the name of the former Welsh team manager. Who is he? I think that is very, very easy. And I'm sure we'll have a bumper entry for that. Ball and kit. Now then, what's coming up on Sky Sports? The big league. 2 weeks tonight, we will be in Gateshead for England against France. England now trying to stay in the John Smith's European Championship. Leeds and Widnes on Friday from Headingley. On Sky Sports 2 notice at 7 o'clock. John Keir will be joining me in the commentary box for that. Paul Cullen is away and training with Warrington. On Sunday, Gary Schofield joins us for Wigan against Castleford, plus the highlights from all the First Division games. We're back on Sky Sports for that. Notice the later time, 10 o'clock Sunday, for the champions against Castleford. And 1 or 2 walking wounded from this match here tonight. 2 lads who've done a great job for us, Paul Cullen and John Keir. Thank you very much indeed. And we will see you, I trust, on Friday. Leeds against Widnes. Leeds and Widnes, you've got something to follow after this tonight.
money. Come on, Teddy, let's nip down to the shops.
Oh, blimey, a traffic warden. Hey, Vernon!
Come on, Teddy, another ticket would be too grisly. Will you get in?
All right, Vern, you're worse than a bear with a sore head, you are. Oh, this is nice.
Yes, it's a new Renault 5 Campus.
5-speed gearbox.
Yes, but, reverse is my favourite.
Oh,